Alright, so reviewing today 5.1 and 5.2. So 5.1 has the most like info in it. So classified triangles. So we had sides, scaling, no sides are congruent, isosceles, two sides are congruent, and equilateral, all congruent. And then the angles, so we had acute triangle, that's if all angles are acute. We have an obtuse triangle, and it's one angle is obtuse. Can't have more than one because obtuse is greater than 90, and if you have two angles greater than 90, you have more than 180, and that doesn't make a triangle. So, right triangle, so has one right angle. Same reason as obtuse. If you had two, you'd have 180, and you got to have three angles. And then equiangular, they're all congruent. So you're going to use, again, one word for sides, one word for angles. These two go together. So if you use the word equilateral, you have to use equiangular and vice versa. The other ones, and you can't use them, like you can't say scalene and equiangular. You can't say acute and equilateral. Okay, so if you use one of those, you have to use the other, and they don't mix with any of the others. Scalene can go with any of these three. Isosceles can go with any of these three. Obtuse could be scalene or isosceles. Like, all that's fine. Just equilateral and equiangular don't go together, or they go together, and that's it. All right. So you have a couple to classify. Then we had triangle sum theorem. All angles in a triangle add up to equal 180 degrees. It's a big one. Okay, and then we had the exterior angle theorem. Where if we have an angle on the outside, it'll say that x equals angle 1 plus angle 2. So again, on some of these problems, you could figure out, okay, like if angle 1 was 80 degrees and angle 2 was 40 degrees, you could figure out the angle right here, and then minus 180, it's longer to do that. So, and then ones when you have variables involved, you can't really figure out that red little squiggle angle, and you have to set up an equation where that angle, whatever the x plus 5 where the x is or whatever, and set up an equation. Okay, so I'm just going to randomly create one and see what happens. I'll probably get a fraction, but let's say that this was 2x plus 1, and that one is 3x minus 4. Well, I could do this. It might not work out like legit, but (6x minus 5). So there's no way to figure out this angle and then do anything with 180. So you'd have to do 6x minus 5 equals 3x minus 4 plus 2x plus 1, and then solve that. So 3x and 2x is 5x, negative 4 and 1 is negative 3. And x equals 2. And then you need to answer the question. It might just say solve for x. It might say what's the exterior angle. It might say what are one of the interior angles. Like, I don't know. You just have to like make sure that you answer whatever the question happens to be. It looks like on your worksheet it does just say find the value of x. So you would be done. Okay. All right. 5.2 was congruent polygons. And so the big thing to remember with anything that's congruent is all sides and angles need to be congruent. And so we did talk about, and again, triangles are just easier to use and draw and so forth. That if we had ABC and DEF, that if I said triangle ABC is congruent, I have to follow the right order. So F goes with A, E goes with B, and D goes with C. So it doesn't have to like start alphabetical. If you put CBA, then you need to go, okay, C, D goes with C, and then E goes with B, and F goes with A, like that. So there's multiple ways to say that something's congruent. It just has to follow the order. Okay? All right, so that should be, if you just remember on the 5.2 worksheet, there's only 5 problems, but that all the sides and angles are congruent, you'll be able to figure out everything from there like pretty easily. Okay, you will need to, looking at one of them, you will need to remember that all 3 angles add up to 180. That will come up in 2 of them. So the rest of them just deal with stuff being congruent and matching up the sides and the angles. All right. Okay, that's it. Not too many problems to do. I think there's 8 on one side, 5 on the other. So knock this out, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day.